Now, the WMAL Fisher House Radiothon continues. Please support our wounded warriors and their families by calling in your contribution now. 888-294-8560. That's 888-294-8560.
Good morning. Thanks for letting us be a part of your morning routine on this Friday, the 5th day of December at 6:07. It's Larry O'Connor with Patrice Onwuka. Patrice, it's Fisher House Day.
It's Fisher House Friday. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning. And by the way, we have an anonymous donation here that I want to draw attention to. Thank you, anonymous donor. You know who you are. $1,000 for Fisher House Foundation.
Terrific.
To get us started this morning. Now, he works at Washington Woodwork.
Okay.
Washington Woodwork or Washington Woodworking? I'm trying to confirm that one way or the other. Came to me Washington Woodwork, but I'm seeing a company in Landover called Washington Woodworking. Either way, Mr. or Ms. Anonymous says that he wants, he or she is challenging the coworker. All right, it's a him. I'm seeing pronouns here. His coworkers at Washington Woodworking, as he has now put out $1,000 as a donation. And since it's anonymous, everyone else who works there can pretend that they did it. So congratulations. Thank you.
But they should do their part too.
That's right. Yeah. Don't deceive. Let's get in there, Washington Woodworking. I appreciate it. 888-294-8560. 888-294-8560. All right. So Patrice, yesterday.
Yes.
While we were still on the air, right toward the end of the program, we got the announcement that there had been a raid in a home in Woodbridge, Virginia, and the arrest of what the FBI later confirmed, and the DOJ also confirmed, the arrest of the suspect over the infamous pipe bombing incident on January 6th. And while there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered here,
yes,
I think the most important question is, why didn't the FBI make this arrest like 4 years ago? Yeah, this new development in the case that led to the arrest had nothing to do with new information, new evidence, a new anonymous tip, or anything like that. Yeah. All of the evidence that was used by the FBI over the last handful of months to put the pieces together on this crime, isolate the suspect, and make the arrest, all that evidence had been gathered initially by Christopher Wray and the FBI under Merrick Garland and under Joe Biden, and it appears as though it was all just sort of dropped, that the FBI and the DOJ, for some reason that needs to be explained, sort of lost interest in this case, didn't make an arrest, and just moved on to other things, which is odd because I was told that January 6th was the most infamous attack on this country in our nation's history. And it certainly wasn't for a lack of resources, because they spent billions to track down, grandma using facial recognition, digitized artificial intelligence technology to find grandma who walked through a door that was held open by a Capitol Police officer on January 6th and arrest them and throw the book at them. There were over 1,000 arrests of people who had been, many of them quite peaceful, actually, in their protests that day. And yet they had the information on this individual, and they never made that arrest. Curious,
that's
isn't
curious. Two things could be behind that. One, maybe they were covering it up for, someone that they were trying to protect, who maybe works for the FBI or is a powerful person, who knows. Or the other is that the suspect does not fit the narrative that they were trying to paint about everyone involved with January 6th. I kind of think it's the latter. Maybe that suspect, the person was not a white supremacist with a big MAGA hat, the kind of person that would assault an LGBTQ celebrity in Chicago during a blizzard at 2 a.m. in the morning while he's out to get a Subway sandwich. That kind of suspect. Maybe this real suspect didn't fit that mold, but it was somebody different.
Well, let's see. The suspect is named Brian Cole. Again, he lives in Woodbridge, Virginia. And here's how Jake Tapper announced the arrest to his audience. This is Cut 6.
Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction.
Well, there you go. I mean, I don't know, Patrice. You may be wrong on this, because if you hear Jake Tapper here once again, 6A. What did he say?
A 30-year-old white man.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing here about Brian Cole that undermines the narrative that the January 6th attacks were based on white supremacy and MAGA right-wing conservatives. What are you getting at here?
Well, maybe what if Jake Tapper is wrong in how he's describing the assailant? Because
no. And I'm sorry, Patrice. I cannot let this stand. Jake Tapper is the last great serious broadcast journalist in Washington, D.C. I mean, other than that little thing about not recognizing that Joe Biden was, incapable of being the president, but he eventually righted that wrong, and he wrote a book and made millions of dollars. How could he possibly be wrong?
Because he is.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you're right. I'm taking a look here. It turns out Brian Cole is not a white man. In fact, he is well, maybe Brian Cole, a black man, is the worst possible black man in the maybe he is a white supremacist black man. Is that possible?
Oh, that's what they call black conservatives, the face
that's right.
of white supremacy.
Like you.
Yeah.
Patrice.
Back in the old days, in the 80s, they used to call us Oreos, black on the outside and white on the inside. It's all the same thing.
It's just you just can't get enough of these guys. Yeah, he was in fact a black man, and he has a background. They're saying things now. It's so funny. They're saying things like he has a history of making anarchist statements and anarchist observations and views.
Anarchist.
So you tell me, if somebody's an anarchist, are they more MAGA adjacent or more Antifa adjacent? You tell me.
I would think Antifa adjacent.
Yeah. I think you are 100% right. And yes, Jake Tapper, as usual, is 100% wrong in that the reason this case was dropped, and I don't know this, but it's a logical conclusion to reach, this case was dropped and the FBI did not pursue the evidence that they had, because it appeared as though the suspect did not fit the predominant narrative that this was a Trump-inspired, Trump-instigated, white, right-wing, MAGA-fueled insurrection to overthrow the government. Never mind the fact that nobody was arrested in the Capitol with any sort of firearms, and I'm pretty sure that right-wing conservative Republicans have pretty good arsenals if they really wanted to bring guns to the table for a coup. I think that for two reasons. Number one, it blew up the political narrative that Joe Biden and the Democrats had painted for years, that this was a right-wing, white supremacist overthrow of our government, number one. But also, it undermined all of the legal arguments that those who were arrested for January 6th could have used. They could have brought this information to the table as exculpatory, saying, listen, you guys are saying that we were part of some sort of, right-wing coup, and meanwhile, the only people who actually had deadly weapons that day, these pipe bombs, they weren't right-wing, white supremacist coup people.
Well, I mean, boy, that would have done a lot to undermine all of the cases against J6 as people who were, tried and condemned. And I mean, their lives were destroyed because of that. It's disgusting, but it's really should expose to people the lens to which the Biden administration and all of the minions within them were working against the American people, against conservatives, against anyone who is right of center, and covering up the wrongdoing. That is why people have had lost so much trust in the justice system, so much trust with the Justice Department. How can you trust that they're actually going to pursue justice and truth and not just a political agenda?
They moved heaven and earth and had an unlimited budget to go after relatively innocent people who had never done anything wrong, who got caught up in the day's events on January 6th, and they threw the book at them. And here they had a person who placed pipe bombs, explosive devices in front of the RNC and the DNC. They had the evidence. Here's Kash Patel, the FBI director. He was on Donald Trump Jr.'s podcast yesterday. Take a listen to this.
There were tips in there clues in there that we keyed in on, like the sneakers, like the height, like the appearance. And we refined those images. And we also used our brilliant CAS system. And what that is our cell phone analytic capability to go back and say, who was in the area? And also, why wasn't this discovered before? It's not like we recreated the cell phone data from 5 years ago. People just sat on it. And that's your point. They decided not to do anything. We took the opposite approach, and look where we are today. We arrested the January 6th pipe bomber.
Yeah, the Courier. And again, all of that evidence was right there, and it just got hidden, it got ignored, it got overlooked, it got neglected. And yes, there are many questions that need answering. It's 6:15.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939. You're listening to the WMAL Fisher House Radiothon. Call to donate 888-294-8560.
That's right. Keep those donations rolling in here on day 2 of our Fisher House Radiothon that we do every year now, going on 23 years. And joining us right now is a young lady who benefited directly from your generosity. Kayla Saska is a veteran of the United States Navy, and she was right here at Walter Reed in Bethesda needing some medical attention. And her sister in Arizona, who is, by the way, an Army veteran, so we do love those mixed families, came to her aid. And Kayla, it's so great to talk with you again. I had a great time last time we spoke. I think it was about 8 weeks ago. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Mr. Larry. It's good to see you too, or good to talk to you too.
So tell us your story here. And if you had a kind of a mystery illness, and you had to go through so many tests and poking and prodding, and it ended up being a bit of a emergency situation eventually, right?
Yes, sir. So about 2 years ago, I went through an infusion over at Walter Reed, and after maybe about a minute of the infusion, I went into kind of like a anaphylactic shock of a reaction, which kind of spiraled and sent me into like just my body kind of shutting down without us really understanding what was going on at Walter Reed. And it led to several ER visits and whatnot. And ultimately it led to an emergency surgery at about 2 a.m. I think about at like the 6th ER visit.
Gosh.
Oof.
And after the ER visit and everything, we did the surgery and whatnot. But when I told them what was going on and everything, that's when my sister was flown out to go ahead and help me out after that surgery and everything.
Well, talk about your sister and how Fisher House was able to help her out. I mean, I'm sure it was a kind of a drop at the dime, have to come really quickly to be at your side. So talk about how Fisher House really made that happen.
Yes, ma'am. So with Fisher House, they went ahead, and my sister, again, she's an Army vet, so she understood like the chaos of trying to make sure the medical stuff was done, and if you're getting medical attention, the convalescent leave, the stressing of, hey, telling your work what was going on, and then trying to figure out, like, hey, if I'm living in the barracks or if I'm living off base, where you're going to get, how you're going to get to A and B. And from the beginning, I told my command what was going on, and they sent me a whole bunch of contact information for Fisher House. And they informed me that they were going to be able to help my sister get there in D.C. And it was almost as if it was too good to be true, because I'm sitting here kind of scared to death about what was going on. And when that emergency surgery that night, they told me, hey, we're flying your sister out. Hey, we're going to put your sister in this hotel room, or not this hotel room, in a Fisher House on base. And I was like, wait, so I don't have to worry about anything? And they were like, nope, we got your sister under control. Focus on you. And they had a caseworker go ahead and meet her from the beginning of getting on base, and he had the folder and everything, and he walked her through checking in, where he would be. He updated her on my case from 2 in the morning to about 7 a.m. And it was just all of from the hotel to the contact information to just being that point of origin to get all the worries off of everything else and just focus on me.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And by the way, now you can tell by hearing from Kayla that she's got energy and drive, and she's just full of spit and vinegar, as my grandma used to say. And because of your medical condition, you weren't able to continue to serve at full capacity, but you've now channeled and focused that energy into adaptive sports, and you continue to represent the Navy and our country in adaptive sports, and Fisher House is there for that journey too.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. I'm actually in Houston, Texas right now, in my hotel lobby room for an adaptive sports competition. So, funny enough, I have Navy vets, Marine vets, and even one gentleman that I was at Walter Reed with. And so we just started laughing about how we just medically retired about no more than 2 years ago, and now we're just here competing and kind of continuing whatever resources and avenues that we're able to find and whatever we're able to do right now.
Now, you told me a story when we last spoke that you were serving, like, I think in Okinawa, Japan or something, and it was like 1 a.m. your time, and you had an uncle in the Army call you up just to let you know, woke you up in the middle of the night to let you know that Army had beaten Navy in the big football game. And, we're a week away now from the game. How are you feeling about it?
Oh, yes, of course you'd bring that up, Mr. Army. But yes, no, it was about like...
No, I'm on your side. I'm a Navy guy, too.
Oh, yes, sir. But no, it's just... my family is very military friendly, and I have two siblings that served, a brother-in-law, both grandpas, uncles. And so the military household, when I said, hey, I'm joining the Navy, they just all looked at me and they said, okay, this is going to be interesting. And I was like, oh, no, here we go. So when that game happened, the time in Yokosuka, Japan was way too early. So I was like, okay, well, I'll find out the next day. But my grandpa made me know that, oh, just don't worry, sweetheart. I'm going to wake you up and tell you, go Army, beat Navy. And then he just hung up. And
he just hung up.
Oh, wow.
He just hung up. Well, it's fantastic. Well, hopefully you guys are having a good time 8 days from now when the big game happens again. And I love your energy so much, and your family perfectly represents exactly why Fisher House was created in the first place and why they keep doing the great work, because your family deserves that kind of support when you need it. And so I appreciate your service and your enthusiasm for our country and our military. And good luck. When's the competition? This weekend?
Oh, yes, sir. It's going to be today, Saturday, and then championship games are on Sunday.
Could you do me a favor and kick some butt, please?
Oh, of course. That's the answer.
Thank you, Kayla.
Kayla Saska, go Navy. Give a call, please, 888-294-8560. Kayla's the kind of young person that benefits when she needs it. Fisher House is there. Fisher House is there for her sister, her parents. Whenever they need to be there for Kayla, Fisher House is there for them. 888-294-8560.
Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for your generosity so far. Our current total, $134,670. Thank you so much, WMAL family. Let's not stop. Call 888-294-8560 to give your donation to the Fisher House. Again, that number, 888-294-8560, or go online to WMAL.com and stay with us. It's O'Connor and Company at 6:30.
WMAL FM, Woodbridge, Washington. Supporting our wounded warriors and their families. The Fisher House Radiothon continues on WMAL, a Cumulus station. News now. Now, the WMAL Fisher House Radiothon continues. Please support our wounded warriors and their families by calling in your contribution now. 888-294-8560. That's 888-294-8560.
Good Friday morning to you at 6:37. Thanks for letting us be a part of your routine. And thank you so much for joining us in honoring our veterans, our active duty military, their families, by supporting Fisher House at our annual Fisher House Radiothon here, going into day 2, 888-294-8560. Love all of the contributions and donations, and love, and yes, the spirit you're all bringing to our Radiothon as you do every year for us. We're honored and absolutely overjoyed. By the way, we're going to be doing a lot of conversations about Fisher House this morning, of course. Also, I want to let you know that at 7:05, we're going to talk to representatives from Alliance Defending Freedom and a case that was just argued before the Supreme Court over the state of New Jersey proactively going after and harassing pregnancy crisis centers for women. They say they're pro-choice, Patrice, but I don't think they really are. I think they only support one choice, because the women who women who choose life and those centers that are there for them, they get harassed by attorneys general and government officials. ADF fought that fight. They're joining us at 7:05. And at 8:05, a chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Jason Smith, will be joining us about a huge scandal involving fraud in the Obamacare system. This is right when Democrats are demanding more subsidies and more subsidies and more subsidies. So we'll talk to the chairman about that. Good morning, Patrice Onwuka.
Good morning. Happy Radiothon Friday.
There you go.
Happy Fisher House Friday.
And, of course, Happy Christmas Friday, too. Let's get right to it.
Oh, I don't
last
know
night.
this one.
It was an annual tradition occurred last night as the official White House Christmas tree was set ablaze. And they didn't put it up.
No, not literally.
No,
figuratively, right?
They just flipped the switch and turned all the lights on. Well, you know how that Trump is. He'll burn everything down. First the East Wing, and now the Christmas tree. No, far from it, actually. To honor the birth of the baby Jesus, President Trump announced who would do the honors this year. Take a listen.
Light the beautiful Christmas tree. Are you ready? So the First Lady is going to do the honors, and we're going to do a countdown. We'll go from 5 to 0, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Honey?
Oh, honey. He called her honey. There you go. So that's what it sounded like. But Patrice, and it's great and it's glorious and it's always and this is the kind of thing that all Americans can, even here in, polarized, angry, hostile, at each other's throats, Washington, D.C., everybody can sort of rally around this and celebrate and come together on something that we love, the National Christmas Tree at the White House with the president, right? There was no controversy, no criticisms, right?
I would hope.
No. Your hopes would go, sadly, unabated because there is are you ready? And I'm not kidding.
I'm ready for it, Larry.
There
Let's
is
hear it.
Controversy over something President Trump said at the Christmas tree lighting, and I will play it for you. I apologize here if you get offended by this, but you know how Trump can be. Here was President Trump's incredibly controversial remarks yesterday.
I stood tall in part because millions of our citizens have heeded that call, and the faith and service of Christians have been essential parts of America's strength from the very, very beginning. Incredible. We love the Christians. We love all religions. And by the way, religion is coming back to the USA. You see that.
All right, so you heard it. Christians have been an essential part of America's strength from the very beginning. We love Christians. Well, yeah, you can't say that. He also said this during the Christmas tree lighting.
Tonight, this beautiful evergreen tree glows bright on the dark and cold winter night and reminds us of the words of Gospel of John. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. Beautiful words. With the birth of Jesus, human history turned from night to day. His word and his example call us to love one another, to serve one another, and to honor the sacred truth that every child is specially made in the image of God.
You see the controversy here, right?
So he mentions Jesus as the light of the world. He mentions God as the divine creator.
Yes.
I mean, I love it, and I think everybody should.
He quoted scripture, the gospel according to John, and so basically what I'm saying is during the ceremony lighting the national Christmas tree for Christmas, our Christian president on the occasion of this Christian holiday invoked Christianity. And apparently you're not supposed to do that.
Well, thank God. You know what? I'm so glad he said Christianity and faith is back. And listen, that is not to say if you want to worship another God or worship it through another way. That it's but no, we are a nation built under God and founded for people of all religions to practice freely. I am all here for Jesus being back in the center stage of Christmas.
It's Christmas.
It's his name.
How dare you invoke Jesus when you're lighting the Christmas tree? What? Because the Christmas tree and Christmas in general.
I know people are talking about pagan.
Stop it! Everybody it's amazing. So
let's just take a moment to be grateful that President Trump was elected, and we didn't hear Joe Biden being talking gibberish about I don't even know what he would have said, but it would not have been this. I don't think he knew what he was going to say.
He wouldn't even know where he was. Wow, the living room looks bigger than usual. All right, let's light the tree. Where's my eggnog? So there it is. That was the controversy. Also, by the way, to be fair, he went off script a little bit.
Okay. I mean, that's not a surprise.
He said that he declared during the ceremony, he declared his love for all U.S. citizens, even the ones I dislike. Well,
I will take that as my Christmas present from President Trump. He loves us.
I'm going to put that on my
Trump.
Christmas card. I love everybody, especially the people I don't like. In a weird way, that is a Christian thought. It's 6:44.
You're listening to the WMAL Fisher House Radiothon. Call to donate 888-294-8560.
All right, and we are now joined by a friend of the program and friend of our military everywhere, Michelle Horn, Vice President of Communications for Fisher House Radiothon. For Fisher House Foundation, sorry. It almost feels like you're the Vice President of Communications for the Radiothon, too, Michelle. Good morning. Thanks for coming back and joining us again.
Good morning, Larry. And, getting to talk to all these families and set up all these interviews is really does make me feel like a Vice President of Communications for the Radiothon.
Well, listen, we spoke early yesterday morning when we were just kicking things off, and I think our last total were over 137,000 or 139,000. We're so thrilled that we're able to help, and our listeners really are doing all the work, obviously. We didn't bring this up yesterday, but like so many people who work at Fisher House and participate with Fisher House, you're also a veteran. You're a retired Army officer. You served in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and other places. How does that experience sort of inform your daily work as you interact with these families and you try to bring these services to them?
Every day, my service is something that's, part of my life. I was in the Army for 21 years, so it's part of who I am. But I definitely, I was actually thinking about it this morning. In 2003, when I was deployed to Iraq, I remember the story, well, actually, right before I deployed, I remember the story of Jessica Lynch. Do you remember Jessica Lynch, who was the first POW? Yeah, yes. And a couple years ago, I got to talk to her. Her family stayed at Fisher House. And,
Wow.
it makes me, they stayed at Fisher House and they were able to be there with her when she was rescued and was able to come home. And, she went through horrific injuries. And her mom and dad were able to be by her side. Her mom was telling me that they didn't know how they were going to get by, but they got there without even having a coat or anything with them. And they weren't used to the cooler weather in D.C. than where they were coming from in West Virginia. And they were totally unprepared, and people brought them a jacket and they gave them a place to stay, and they were just able to be by our side. And, I think that story just makes me think of that was so early on in my career. And when I remember everything with Jessica, and, I had soldiers who were on the ground invasion as well. And I just, the fact that, that she still looks at Fisher House as something that was so important to her life and her recovery and getting to where she is today. And the fact that her mom said to me that, I at least know if Jessica needs the care, she can continue to receive care, or she can continue to have Fisher House as a resource. I mean, that's the thing. It's here forever. And that to me is so important, that we are here for veterans from the beginning all the way through their lives. We're going to be there for families, and we continue to be there for families who even have their veterans in hospice now, so yes. Wow. It's a start to finish. We are here, and we want to honor families and be there for them. And like you said, your listeners hear it, they know it, they're donating, and we just are so grateful for everything that they're giving today, because it allows us to continue to be here throughout the lives of these veterans.
We're speaking with Michelle Horn, Vice President of Communications at Fisher House Foundation. Michelle, I think it begs the question, although the United States is no longer in Afghanistan, the recovery still continues. You're hinting at that. Why is Fisher House still so relevant, even today, as though we're not in an active war per se, it still continues to be relevant?
Well, it does. And, people go through injuries. There are training accidents that happen. There are people who are actively serving in other countries. I mean, our military, we all know, is actively doing our job protecting our country today. And then on top of that, we're there for the families who are also getting ill. You know, we are there for the service member whose children are ill, whose spouses are ill or who have been injured. You know, so we're there for the whole family. And then, of course, our veterans. As I get older, I seem to find more and more things need treatment. And I think our veteran community is in the same shape. You know, we all find either things that we have to readdress as we get older or new things pop up. So the need for medical care doesn't stop. Therefore, the need for Fisher House doesn't stop. You know, and we just want to continue to be there for those who have done so much for our country.
Well, Michelle Horn, thank you for your continued service to our nation and to our military with Fisher House Foundation, and thanks for letting us be a part of your story. It really means a lot to us.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle.
It is my honor. Thanks for all you're doing, both of you. I really appreciate it.
Well, we're not doing much, but we are asking all of our listeners and our WMAL family to do a little bit, which is to pick up the phone call and donate what you can for Fisher House Foundation, 888-294-8560, or, of course, online. Just go to WMAL.com. It's 6:53.